If there's one golf star that deserves to be a part of the World Golf Hall of Fame like no one else, then it's definitely Tiger Woods. No one has revolutionized the sport of golf as much as him and set up as many records as Tiger did. Therefore, it was only a question of when, not if, Tiger gets inducted. Now, it's finally happened. So, let's take a look into this beautiful and memorable event. Let's get right into it. At the PGA Tour headquarters in Florida on Wednesday, Tiger Woods was officially inducted into the World Golf Hall of Fame, a moment that had been anticipated for years. Following a tearful introduction and presentation of the award by his daughter, Woods began his speech with a powerful statement. "Thank you so much. Crap, I just lost a bet to Stricker that I wouldn't cry. Thank you, Sam." Throughout his career, Woods has broken numerous golfing records, cementing his position as arguably the greatest golfer of all time in the process. He has 15 major championships to his credit, second only to Jack Nicklaus's 18 major championships, as well as a joint 82 victories on the PGA Tour. According to the PGA Tour stats report, it took the American 359 starts to reach this milestone, giving him a win percentage of 22.8%, which is a new record for him. Woods has not competed on the PGA Tour since sustaining serious injuries in a car accident on February 2021, which occurred during the 2020 Masters. However, he did participate in the PNC Championship with his son Charlie in December and finished in second place. He's not yet set a date for his return to the tour. By the way, do you think Tiger Woods deserves the induction? Let us know in the comments section down below. In terms of dominance, Woods was the most dominant player the game has ever known. As a result of his dominance, the likes of Jon Rahm, who's currently ranked first in the world, Colin Morikawa, Rory McIlroy, Dustin Johnson, Xander Schauffele, and a slew of other players have followed in his footsteps. Name a current top player, and chances are he was either drawn to the game or at the very least influenced by Woods. As a result, Woods was finally inducted into the Hall of Fame on Wednesday night, after being presented by his 14-year-old daughter, Sam, in a startling juxtaposition of the time, place, and moment in his life during which he was born. And his speech may just be the most heartbreaking one he's ever made. What did he talk about? Stick around to the end of the video to find out. The majority of Tiger Woods' World Golf Hall of Fame induction speech sounded like it could have been written for an audience of two, his teenage children, Sam and Charlie, rather than an audience of thousands. As Woods put it, he went retro in his speech, telling delightful and meaningful stories from his childhood in a 17-minute speech that he delivered without the aid of a teleprompter. Woods' stories were mostly about his family. Many of the stories were relatable. Some of them were out of this world. There were none that involved a major championship. All of this contributed to the development of the most influential player the game has ever seen. Woods, who was 6 at the time, competed in Saturday tournaments at Hartwell Golf Park, a local par 3 course, because he was too young to participate as a dependent at the Navy Golf Course in Long Beach, California. Woods said he spent the previous week preparing at the park across the street with his dog Boom Boom, which was named after Fred Couples, who was also in attendance. "I'd hit balls in the dark, in the grass, through trees, in the sand, through the hula hoops, everything," said Woods. "So my dog, I'd only hit 2 golf balls. He would go lay down next to each one of them. Well, that's kind of how I learned to play the game of golf." Also, make sure to write your thoughts on Tiger Woods' legacy in the comments section. Woods had figured out how to turn the 75 cents his mother had given him to buy a hot dog and call home into a profit by the time he was 8 years old. Tiger was told that he could no longer participate in putting competitions for quarters after his father, Earl, became aware that he was returning home with extra quarters in his pocket. "Fine, done, I won't putt for any more quarters," Woods told his father. The following week, he returned home with a wad of dollar bills in his pocket. Woods, who had previously stated that he would not putt for money again, returned home with a wad of cash this time around. He said, "I thought I told you to never putt for money again," recalled Tiger. "I didn't. I went out and played skins." During his childhood, Woods would sneak onto the Navy golf course after his father got off work at 4 p.m. and play until he was 10. Woods' mother would drop him off at the course's entrance, and he'd make his way down what they call the ditch, picking up golf balls along the way. until his father arrived on the third hole in a horse and buggy. "So, I would sneak down the first hole to the second hole," said Woods, "but Dad taught me how to always grab a piece of foliage, cover yourself up, listen for noise, if you hear anybody coming, lay still. Part sniper." Earl had a rule that if someone lost the ball, it was time to drive in during the winter months because the darkness closed in quickly. Part of understanding how to shape shots and knowing where I hit it on the face and where I would hit it all started then, said Woods. "So if I hit it, Dad, I pulled it left, it's up the left side. It's going to be here. We drive there, it's there. We can continue playing." The furthest I ever made was 17 holes in the dark. Never quite got to 18. One of the things that drove me was his passion to play the game of golf. I was never going to be denied to play. I loved it. I had this burning desire to be able to express myself in this game of golf. Charlie Sifford was the first black member of the PGA Tour, and Woods named his son after him. Woods' father taught him that he needed to be twice as good in order to be given half the opportunity he was given. It's one of the reasons Tiger made practice so difficult that it was painful. As he grew older, junior tournaments organized by the Southern California Junior Golf Association took the eager youngsters to courses with the letter CC in the title, which stood for country club, and which for Woods meant a more elevated experience with new greens on the course. Woods, on the other hand, claims that not all of these clubs were welcoming to him because of the color of his skin. As he grew older, these prejudices became even more ingrained in him. "So, as I was denied access into these clubhouses, that's fine," said Woods. "Put my shoes on here in the parking lot. I asked 2 questions only, that was it. Where was the first tee and what was the course record? Not complicated." However, Tiger Woods also spoke about the financial difficulties his family was experiencing. Before we get into this, be sure to subscribe for more golf content. Let's get into the difficulties and challenges he had to conquer in his young life. When he was about 12 years old and wanted to compete on the AJGA Tour, his family took out a second mortgage. When he talked about his parents' sacrifices and the work ethic they instilled in him, the 46-year-old, 15-time major champion became visibly emotional. When Woods turned pro, he used the sponsorship money from Nike and Titleist to pay off his parents' mortgage as soon as he was able to do so. "I know that golf is an individual sport," said Woods. "We do things on our own a lot for hours on end, but in my case, I didn't get here alone." Ahead of his opening up about what shaped him into one of the world's greatest athletes, Woods was introduced by his daughter Sam, who shared snippets of their intensely private family life, which is still shaped by Earl's train hard, fight easy philosophy. Apparently with a healthy dose of levity thrown in for good measure. "It's been at the soccer fields and golf tournaments over the years that Charlie and I have begun to realize how famous he actually is," said Sam. "I mean, how can a guy who still FaceTimes his friends to discuss Marvel and DC timelines or goes to Comic-Con dressed as Batman be one of the greatest golfers that has ever lived?" Indeed, there's a great deal more to learn. Be sure to check out Tiger Woods' best shots here. Looking forward to seeing you there.